Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you everybody for taking the time out tonight to go through this budget. I'd like to start with a roll call.
Ron Alberico.
Here.
Barb Boyce.
Here.
Mike Lewandowski.
Here.
Lance McCullough.
Here.
Dean Morelli.
Here.
Accountant Dave Meyer.
Yes.
And Clerk Rumcheck. And we have John Bodisich in the audience tonight. Okay.
All right, the first part of the budget worksheet will be with the trustees section, which is the whole town fund, which I passed out the first part of it. Basically, we'll go through these line items. The first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 line items there are for the officials. We can't change that. That stays every year the same. We do that 6 months before the election. We decide for the next 4 years. So those have been decided 3.5 years ago, and it stays the same for 1 more year. We'll decide on raises next year for before the election. All right, getting past that, payroll clerk. I got it at $25,000. That is one of our employees. We're splitting that between senior and this one because she'll be doing a lot of senior stuff. Health insurance is coming down a little bit, you'll see, because we did change insurance companies. Central Square is staying the same because we will be here for the full length of the year. Maybe when we get to that dissolution, when we dissolve Central Square, we are working on that paperwork that we brought to the last meeting. We're working on all the last details on that, on the draft for that. We're going to have something in there that says basically at the end of, or when we leave, we'll decide, we'll see how much money's left in the
It'll be prorated.
fund. And, well, we're going to see how much money is left in the fund. If there's more than $10,000, we will split it within the 3 entities. Is what we're kind of looking at this point. But right now, we got to stay with the $85,000 because we'll be here most of the year. And Debbie's office may stay here till the end of the year because she'll be right in the middle of her all her busy time of the year. She might not be able to move right through until December. Accounting, I left that open because I'm going to have to rely on you to kind of give us what your costs are going to be this year.
Probably the same.
It'll be about the same. I'll let you get with Sherry on that, fill those in. Engineering, I'm going to keep the same. Legal, grant apps, everything's pretty much the same through this area as last year. It has been for the last couple of years. Pace bus I brought up because we went a little over this year. Pace bus. Cable TV, we always go for $500 with that. I brought down the state of the city address fund, $500 because I thought more people would want to go to those State of the Union or State of the City addresses and no one's going, so I will keep some money in there in case somebody wants to go to Lockport's or Romeoville's or Crest Hill's State of the City addresses. Mosquito control stays the same. Township cleanup stays the same. EMA, we brought that up a little because we're paying more now for the maintenance of those the sirens. And that's going to give us enough money to cover the maintenance on all our sirens. Miscellaneous will stay the same, contingency will stay the same, and collector's expenses will stay the same. Next page, These are all our community program, and basically, they're all staying the same as last year. Everything that we have a line item for, we're to keep it the same. Any questions so far?
I do have, for all the programs that the township donates to, do you have just a line item in case somebody comes in the middle of the year, or where do you take that out of? Because I know that has happened in the past.
Miscellaneous community programs, $1,500.
Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, thank you.
All right, last page, because of the new building, we have added these. This whole top part has been added on. We did move a couple of things out of the first page and put them on this back page, which is projects and the building renovation, just so we can keep it all within the building renovation project. The new line items will be the maintenance part-time, maintenance full-time for the building. That's what we're going to put in there. For now, in the town fund, we don't have anybody hired full-time, but it's going to come to that point. I want some money in there, so we have a line item. We may not spend any of that. Elevator, we don't know what that's going to be yet. I got $1,200 out of the town fund. We are going to have a new elevator. Well, there will be maintenance on the elevator in the building. Alarm maintenance, yard maintenance, custodial supplies, projects we always have at $150,000. I'll keep that at $150,000. Building renovations, that's a new line item we just put in the budget with the amended budget. I'm going to keep it at $900,000 because we are going to be doing renovations in that building out of the town fund. Liabilities, the only one I filled out, because a lot of this has to be decided after we decide on raises, because that fluctuates on the workman's comp and if we're going to give raises to any of our employees. So after we decide on raises, we could calculate those numbers. The only one I did fill out is liability insurance. We did talk to Torma. The replacement cost for the new building is going to be about $25,500, and the personal property that we have from previous years has been $14,000. So we combined those two and went up to the highest number, which is $40,000. I think it comes about $38,000, but we have a little extra land now for Torma. That's the first part of this budget. Any questions on that?
Where did you come up with the figure? I know that you and accountant Dave worked on this, the yard maintenance to only be $1,000.
Well, again, it's going to be.
Well, it's 3,000, right?
Yard maintenance is.
Yeah, 3,000.
Proposed.
Yeah, 3,000, I said 1,000. I was looking at the proposed. Proposed is 3,000, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I was looking at the wrong side. I was reading the wrong numbers there. Yes, 3,000 out of town, and we will be taking some out of senior too, since the building is senior.
Okay.
So between the combination, it should, you know, it'll be a first time we're doing it.
No,
We're
I
hoping we
just
get
didn't,
enough.
I just thought maybe that was a little low.
Good educated guess is what we're trying to do. Yeah, and once I get into the senior, which is next, I'll explain that
Okay,
40% of it's out of senior too,
thank you.
for a lot of these items.
What does that mean at the, almost after that additional employee salary figure? I mean, is that?
Well, we're keeping that employee. When we get into our executive session, we can get into that, because I don't want to talk about salaries right now.
Okay.
Again, the raises, we don't know what we're going to do. We have, the assessor will explain her part of that.
Mm.
So
I mean, that figure that there's now, what is that?
that is the part of,
Personnel.
again, that salary is going to be split between the two. That's the first part of that salary. Any other questions? All right, the next part will be, oh, yeah, this is still good. Right there, senior fund. Senior, 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 senior. 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 Everybody got one? Last one? All right. Okay, senior fund, we have, again, salaries on top. We can get into more of the discussion on the salaries when we go into our executive session. Now, that's the first three, that's the bus drivers, the administrator of the bus. Insurance is going to keep that the same, $1,000. Accounting, again, I left that void because you'll have to help me decide on that. Legal and senior will be $10,000. Data communications, be $4,000, same as last year. Office supplies, miscellaneous at $15,000, contingency at $40,000. Then we go into our senior programming, which are all the same as last year. Well, no, they're not. Obviously, there's a drop here somewhere. What did I change?
Pace.
Called the Pace Bus. Yes, the Pace Bus. And there's a new line item in here too. I will bring that up here in a second. I forgot to mark that down. The last one in the list, shingle shots. We discussed that. We had the pilot program. We had talked about putting $20,000 into that so we can do it 4 times a quarter, or 5,000 4 times a year, once per quarter. I'd like to put that in the line item this year because it was very successful. I'm getting a lot of calls on it already. I haven't set anything up because it's not in our budget yet. I don't want to make any plans on this thing until I know it's going to be approved by this board. So that's a new line item there of $20,000. I think everything else pretty much stayed the same, though, except for the senior bus, senior transportation. Going down, bus programs. I got $75,000 in bus purchase, $10,000 in bus maintenance, $6,000. That's wrong, $6,000 in fuel. I thought that was supposed to be changed. It's going to cost more than $6,000 to put those buses.
To fuel them?
To fuel them. I believe that was, boy, we just did that.
Did you go over last time?
Yeah, we just talked about it this morning. We did the figuring, the calculating on that. It's, I will have to let you guys know. I think it's $18,000. Mark that down there, and I will let you know if it's different than $18,000. All right, rental $4,000. We're going to keep that in there. I was going to take that out, but we have had some problems with our buses. We've had to rent some vehicles once in a while, so we're going to have to keep that in there for now. Building renovations and maintenance, again, maintenance man, full-time, part-time. Again, there's line items in there split between the two. Elevator maintenance is split between the two. Alarm maintenance is split between the two. Yard maintenance is split between the two. Custodial supplies will be split between the two. In building renovations, I'm going to keep it at $500,000 because I believe for the renovations of this building, it's going to be between the two of them. They'll give us $1 million, give us a little cushion over $1 million. And I'm thinking it's going to be $1 million for the renovations. Liabilities, I left that all blank because that all has to be calculated as to raises when we decide on raises.
Hey, Ron?
Yes.
Under administration up on top, about the, in the middle where it says legal, where it was 10,000 for legal and then 7,000, and then it proposed, you got it.
That's supposed to be 10,000, I'm sorry, I'm glad you caught that. You forgot to put a zero in there. Very good, that's supposed to be 10,000. Thank you. We did this pretty late and we're pretty much under the gun getting this all typed out at the end of the day for you. I appreciate the
And this is just a minor one, up on top, it probably should be 15, 16 instead of 16, 17.
Yeah, the first column of numbers,
Yeah.
where it says budget
Oh,
16, 17, it's
yeah.
really 15, 16.
15, 16, you're correct. Yeah, that was last year's and this is this
Yeah,
year's.
just a minor.
Yeah, well, that's good to bring those up, we have to have those cleared up when we post this.
What about the liability insurance, the last line item? Is that,
That again,
are we waiting to hear back from?
from the buses, I believe, I think she had that calculated, though I'm surprised she didn't put that one in there too, because it was, on the senior one, we had the, we had it up to what? Liabilities, we had up to $40,000. I thought, it's gonna be, if that's the 40%, or if that's the 60%, this is gonna be the 40%. So I'll have to have her calculate that. I will get that liabilities in there for you. Thank you for bringing that up, too. Any other questions about the senior budget? Thank you for bringing those couple of minor mistakes on there. I will-
Ron, I do have a question.
Sure.
For the senior breakfast, do you anticipate more because we're gonna be in our, maybe have it in the new building?
Well, to be quite honest with you, I'm not planning on having it in the new building this
Oh,
year.
no. Okay,
Because by the time we get in there, maybe if we are
Okay.
hopefully in there by September,
okay.
there's no
That's fair
guarantee.
enough. Mhm.
It's October.
Right.
I'm not sure, I can't,
Okay,
I
no, fair
can't
enough.
hold that
just a
reservation
question.
at Prairie Bluff,
Yeah,
you know. So
Sure.
this year, we'll have it at Prairie Bluff like we
Okay.
always had, so I figured it's
That
gonna be
makes
about the
sense.
same
Yep,
money.
absolutely.
You know, I go ahead and plan on having it in October there, the
And
building's
not
not
be
ready.
ready. Yeah.
And then we're out. So I got a kind of halfway plan on. You know, if we get in there in August, maybe I can make some changes. Because, you
no,
know,
no,
you
no,
know,
I just,
but I have to
just
be
a question.
on the safe side. Any other questions on the senior?
Ron, I got just one other thing here.
Sure.
We're under bus programs, where it says bus purchase.
Right.
Okay, now, is that something that we're looking into? Is that for the old buses or the new buses?
I wanna, right now, you know, we bought 2 used buses.
Sure.
And they're getting us through, but we're having troubles with them already.
Really?
And I would like to buy 1 bus this year and 1 bus next year, so we can get them kind of on a rotating basis. And I put that money in there to buy a bus at cost, and we're gonna be looking for grants. I'm hoping we'll get free buses.
Mhm.
But the way the state is right now, I'm not sure we're gonna be able to do it next year. But there have been in the past a lot of programs where you can get a free bus through grants and that for seniors and that. And I know, I've heard through the past that Plainfield has done it, and a few other areas have gotten grants for buses. And I will be looking into those diligently, but you know, the state budget, thing they're having, there's no guarantee we're gonna get anything this year, and we need a bus. So, if we don't have to spend it, I'm not gonna spend it, but we better
No, I
have it in there
understand
as
that.
insurance.
Yeah, let's see them on a reciprocal schedule where they automatically replace
Yes, I would like to get it.
before we run into problems.
Right,
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't had those buses a year yet, have we?
no.
Was there any warranty on those
What?
buses?
Yeah, both those buses are, actually, we're having problems with both the buses right now, and they're both
Really?
under warranty.
Oh.
So it's
So
all free work.
I mean, who do we have? I mean, I know where we bought them from that place in Kankakee.
Right now, the new name of whoever has Bill Jacobs Chevrolet, Hawkins,
Okay.
it's a Chevrolet dealer, it's their Chevy trucks. We went to the dealership, and they're all under warranty. It's
Okay.
all warranty work,
Mm.
and they're giving us vehicles for free rental right now. You know, so we're still bringing our passengers around, our seniors around.
Sure.
But we are having problems with these buses, you know, I don't know, you know, I'm not a mechanic by any
All right.
shape. You know, I did what
But,
we,
I mean, I know when we bought them, it was kinda like a spur of the moment thing, but I mean, like, you know how old they are, I mean, what year they are, or?
Oh, yeah,
I mean, I know there was an issue as far as,
right offhand, I don't, I think they were 3 years old, and I got all the paperwork right in my desk, I'm
Because-
gonna look it up. It's
if that's a diesel, I mean, that's really nothing, you know?
12s, I think, 2012,
Yeah.
I guess,
How long's the warranty for?
100,000 mile, train, body train, all that kind of stuff. As far as I-
Miles and a half.
If I remember, like I said, these are just guesses off the top of my head, but I thought they were in the 40s and 50,000.
That's pretty young to have
Yeah,
problems
have all
with.
that
Yeah, it's
problems.
fun, I know, you know. But what do I know about buying buses? I never bought buses before. I did what, with all the research we did, we bought the best buses we could find at the time that I thought. You know, stuff happens, I don't. All right, any other questions for senior? Okay, going on will be the general assistance.
I don't know who needs
All
what.
right. I'm gonna go through mine because I have marks of what I want to talk about. Senior, okay, that's fine. Okay, in pretty much general assistance, everything's gonna stay the same. Second line item down there, full-time employee, of course, we gotta talk about wages. We're going to executive session on that. And that dictates down to, I'll keep part-time salary and hospitalization, we'll bring it up because, again, that transfer last night that we did, we have to put more hospitalization in there for that employee. That brings that up to there. Unemployment insurance, FICA, Medicare, IMRF is dictated by the raise. Equipment maintenance is 3,000, everything else is pretty much gonna stay the same. 62, professional services, I kept that the same, Dave, that's, I don't know, we're gonna, if there's a problem, you have to talk to me about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Telephone, publishing, everything's the same, printing's the same, $1,000, in-service training, $1,000. General insurance, that's TORMA, that's $5,000. Rent is 0. I'm gonna keep that. We could take that out, or we could leave that. I don't know why we leave that in there, but it's a 0, 0 across the board. That used to be for, we used to rent, IMRF used to rent, I'm sorry,
GA.
GA used to rent space from town. And it was kind of silly, I don't know, that was way before I was around. Office supplies, operating supplies, equipment purchase, all stays the same. Moving on. This is the workman's comp welfare stays the same. Physical services stays the same. Hospital inpatient, hospital outpatient, dental services, other medical, all stays the same. Will Grundy Medical Clinic, Will County Community Concerns, all stays the same. Burial, funeral and burial stays the same. Shelter, I dropped down to 45,000. Fuel stays the same. Everything else is going to stay the same. Electric, water, garbage, phones, food, fish, and all that is 0, 0 anyway. Drugs, emergency services, and miscellaneous. And there's no contingency in this one. Any questions on these line items?
Right, I just was gonna ask, like shelter and stuff like that, that you dropped down.
Right.
Now, is that the money, we give to, people who qualify, like for rent and stuff like that?
This is all these line items are for the people that come in for general assistance, and if they qualify, they have a choice as to what they want the money to pay for, whether it's shelter, fuel, electric, water, garbage, phone, food, They make that decision, and we have to have enough money in those line items to pay for it. A lot of times we don't spend a lot of it, like burial and funeral, funeral and burial. But if somebody qualifies for it, we have to have a line item for it. So we put $1,000 in there. If that's what they want their money to pay for it, it's there.
Variable funds, I see you've got your telephone and our atypical bills. Was there enough money accounted for that?
You're on the first page?
Yeah, well, this and also the comp fund, was there enough money accounted for both of them that we might compare two expenses, one for here and then one while construction is going on over there?
Well, the phones for the construction over there will come out of building renovations and all that. All that'll come out of the building renovations and programming over there. Basically, these budgets that I put together are for this building, for the way the offices run, anything, I don't foresee too much.
Over there
We'll still, those bills, hopefully they're gonna be about the same, and, it's a working budget. We do the best we can to estimate what we're gonna spend, and, the unforeseen, that's why we had to amend our budget last year. You have to go, if there's something unforeseen comes up, then you go through the process of amending the budget. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
So these line items for electric, water, garbage, phone are for this office,
No,
What's
that's
this?
for the residents.
for the
Yeah,
residents.
that's all in the relief.
That's in the relief side. That's what we give to people in
For-
general assistance,
Okay.
if they request it. and
So you
qualify.
expended 500 in phone, and you didn't want to raise that? Because you have nothing left?
Well, I talked to the,
Are you on the second page?
Yeah.
So we spent nothing, right?
yeah, expended nothing.
Oh, you
This
expended
one's
nothing.
set up
That's
different
not-
than the other one.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
it's the way she put this one together.
Okay.
The expended is in the
It's
first
in this, okay.
category. We budgeted 500 last year, and nobody wanted their phone bills paid for, obviously, so.
So it looks like shelter and food are the two biggest
Yeah.
requests, if you will.
Mhm.
But yeah, you want to keep money in all the categories just in case.
Somebody
We don't
requests-
know for next year whether garbage might get hit heavier,
Right.
or funeral and burial, or whatever it could be.
Any other questions? All right, well, thank you. Moving on, that takes care of the trustees. Now the assessors' time to present her budget.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, you have to forgive me for 1 second. We're putting back, I'd like to put back in the first line item, the CIAO. I took the money out of my overtime hours. This was an actual bonus, not bonus, but if anybody completed their certification for the CIAO, we always gave them like $1,000, extra in their salary, because it does take over 1.5 years to do this program. We've always had this. It was here when I got mine. We took it out in, did I say 2011? 2012.
2012.
We took it out in 2012 because we didn't have anybody in the office to receive this anymore, so we cut it out of our budget. I would like to put it back in because I do have 2 girls that just finished that program. Should I just go through every line item, or,
Unless there's questions, somebody wants to stop you, but I think so.
okay, I lowered the part-time employees a little bit. Overtime hours is what I took the other money out of.
Debbie, the first column, that's is that the actual what we spent so far this year? Because it's not really labeled.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's the way I got it, so.
So that would be the spending year to date, yes?
I would say
And then the second column is the budget?
I think the first line item is what we actually get in that one. Oh, no, the middle one is what we actually get, and the first one's what we actually spent.
Yeah, this is
And
budgeted.
then the last item is how much we still have left or what we
Right,
went over.
yeah.
I did lower the legal, appraisal, and consultant fees. The only other item that I raised was training. They've raised the classes. Now we have 5 girls that have to take classes. You have to, in order to keep your standing as a CIO, you have to keep your maintenance every year. You have to take a seminar and a class. Unfortunately, they've raised our classes to, taking 2 classes in March comes to $680 for each person, which is outrageous. It used to be $100, but. So, and then with the per diem for staying all night, we try to get all of our classes done at the March workshop. We've always taken the whole week because the way our office functions, you cannot be gone and, the tax bills come out, the assessments we have to finish, we have to come out with all of the cards come out in August, and so we're doing hearings from August until December. So basically, March is like the best time for the office to take, and we all do it all at one time, so we're done. But I raised that line item because with the totals between what we're taking this year and the classes, it'll come to $78.40. So I raised that line item. The only other line item I would like to request, I would like to put on another full-time person. We have 3 major projects going on this year. We are trying to go online with all of our information about our houses. So we're going to be updating all of our programs. We're trying to work with a computer program so that we can go online, and people, instead of having to call for information, can go right online and get all the information. We have 24,000 parcels. It's going to take quite a bit to finish by this year, but that's our goal. We also have I think there's over 31 new commercial between mega warehouses. I have a car dealership going in. I have a 22 building apartment complex going in. So and between the mega warehouses and everything, we're going to have to pull people off to do commercial along with all the rest. So I would request the board to add another full-time person.
And that'd be at the,
It's at the bottom.
okay. I don't have any questions. Does anybody else have any questions on her budget?
With the extra hours worked overtime, you've got it less
I took the 2,000.
by 2,000? Is that because you're
Hiring a new person?
No, I took it to put the CIO
Right,
back in, I
but-
took that out of that line item.
But I mean, that's a function of hours that are worked. Is that assuming that you would get the full-timer that's at the bottom to reduce the number of hours needed?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want you to cut the overtime and then go over, because you don't have enough money.
I mean, I would rather have an extra person on to take up the load than to pay overtime on it to anyone. I just keep that line item just in case, because with all our hearings, we are actually going into all of the senior complexes this year. We're trying to show the people how to file an appeal, to ask for a review. So instead of we have a bunch of tax consultants going in and lawyers taking these people's money when they don't need to. So we're going in, we've set up with a homeowners association, so we'll be going in there. I'm expecting to probably triple how many reviews I have this year. But I feel that it's better for the taxpayers to be informed to know how to do a review without having to pay a tax consultant. They were charging them $250 to $300. And they don't need to.
They don't need it. yeah.
I can do the work just, so if we're gonna give them the forms, we're gonna show them how to do it. So we're trying to eliminate, all of these. So I'm assuming we're going to have quite a few reviews this year. That's probably why we won't be able to move until December at the most.
Any other questions?
Debbie, how many full-timers do you have now?
I have 8.
8 now, so you're looking for another one?
Well, 8 including me.
Okay. 8 including.
Right.
And Debbie is a hands-on assessor.
Yes, she is.
We have to-
All right, if there's no other questions, all the line items will be decided on through raises, depending on what we're going to do for raises. I have nothing else. I guess we can move on to the highway.
I don't really have anything concrete at the moment. I've been talking to Dave the last few weeks and today, and since I don't have my beginning balance, I really don't have anything as far as future plans go. I will have stuff for you guys, obviously. As far as plans go, I don't plan on hiring anybody. We're going to continue with the equipment program. We do need to buy a boom mower this year. And we do need to buy another truck, one of the 8500 series trucks. Working on the bridge, Smith Road. We're pretty much done with phase 1, so we'll be going into phase 2. I also don't have any number. Most of my line items are going to stay the same. I think we've got like a beginning balance, I'm guessing from my last statement from Sherry, is around $600 and something thousand. So we'll just be adding on and doing roads and, excuse my stomach, and we do have another bridge that needs to get done, so we're just.
Which one's that?
Not McGregor. I was just looking at McGregor with the engineer. What's the other one? No, McGregor. Yes, I'm sorry. We were looking at Lawrence with the other one. McGregor. It's on a yearly inspection. Right now, they have not posted weight limits yet for me. The Smith Road Bridge is worse. McGregor's a little bit smaller of a bridge. So we're just making some preliminary plans for that. And bridges take about 4 years. So by the time like phase 1, we've been working on Smith Road is pretty much complete. So we're doing the paperwork for phase 2. Also, I got a letter from FEMA today. We should be getting that FEMA money for that high road culvert soon. So depending if that comes in before the budget's passed, I'd like to include that. And then we'd be just doing more roads. So nothing's really going to change. I'm just going to probably spend most of the money on the roads, and like I said, we need equipment. But the equipment plan I have in place, I don't even think I'm going to increase that line item, and if I do, it's going to be by 20,000 or so. I'm just going to be kind of minimal, just because the way things are falling into place, things are going really well. So.
Well, when you get that all put together,
Yes.
have a workshop together.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And now, yeah, I'll share whatever, and we'll go through the line
We
items.
might not, like last year, we'll pass our budgets and we won't pass yours until.
I usually wait until I know exactly how much I'm getting. And it gives me an opportunity too to figure out if salt's a guess, because right now we're ordering salt for next year. So I still want to talk to the salt guys and see if they think the price is going up, down. That 1 year tripled, then it came down. I want to see, because we had 2 easy winters, maybe salt will come really down. So that all plays into part of my budget. So for this meeting for today, I'm not going to have any surprises. Let's just say that. It's just a little bit preliminary for me. Anybody have any questions on any of the?
What is the scope of work on Smith Road?
Scope of work, well, we got the phase 1 is done, which is all engineering studies. Phase 2 is the actual design of the bridge, and we'll be choosing like the structural part. Engineers design the bridge, and and construction is included in that phase. And then phase 3 is more just all inspection. The construction kind of goes through phase 2 and 3. So They're looking at a couple different options. And then the bridge on McGregor, that's gonna be a lot less expensive.
Where's that located?
That is right actually is right on the borderline. If you go, let's say you're on Thornton, turn left on McGregor, so you're going toward Walsh School, there's a bridge there right before you get into the city's part. Yeah. It's, I don't think it's 100 feet across. Smith
And
Road's,
that's ours?
yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, and then we were looking at the Lawrence Bridge because there was 3 that I was told were in rough shape. But the engineers that do the inspection, I went out there with them Monday or Friday, Monday I think. And they looked at that bridge and said, we've got plenty of time on, that one's in good shape, a lot better than they thought.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Who's doing the engineering for that Smith Road?
Morris Engineering.
The same one that did the High Road culvert, right?
Yes.
Is that the same one?
Yeah. Now, the way the bridges work, the rules are, any one engineering company can do 2 parts, but they can't do all 3.
2 phases.
Right, yeah, I thank you.
No.
So Morris did the first initial phase, paperwork, getting them funds, talking to IDOT, that's kind of their specialty. So then the engineering for the construction part will be someone different, and then Morris will do the, wrap it all up and, yeah, finish it up, so. We haven't gotten quite to the discussion of phase 2, we're just really finishing phase 1 right now. So I'm excited, it should be good. And then Morris was talking about, and I'm gonna get the acronym all screwed up, VRN route or something. It's a, the government, federal government will pay 90% if they choose Smith Road or High Road to be, and I apologize, I don't remember the acronym. But what it is when you have 2 major roads, you have Smith Road's gonna be 4-lane all the way to Archer. Not Smith, 135th all the way to Archer, and then you have 171st Street or Archer. The way they run, those 2 roads, because they're in between, the government, if approved, will pay 90% of the cost to bring those roads up to IDOT specs with curb and gutter. And basically what happens is if you have a wreck on that road, then you're basically giving them permission without them asking you, hey, we're gonna reroute all the trucks, and so they pick which road they wanna do, they bring it up, so that would be huge. I mean,
Wow,
especially on
yeah.
either one of those, to get 90%, if they're gonna pay 90, and they rebuild, they rebuild it from the ground up.
Smith Road or.
Or, yeah, this is something, it has to be approved, I might not get either one, but, just because there's a bunch of us that live over there. I'm like, hey, this is kind of exciting,
They fix up the city side of High Road.
Yeah.
They would have to.
Yeah,
Right.
well, yeah, that's bad. We actually patched the potholes over there for them, because I think it just reflects on the township.
Right.
A lot of people don't understand, same thing with Bruce, that last 1,000 feet of Bruce before you get to Briggs, that's the city's part that's falling apart. So when we repave that, you're gonna see a lot of paving next year. I'm excited.
Can you remember your little clerk over here with all your paperwork?
Yes, I can remember my clerk. I cannot forget my clerk.
I know how you highway commissioners just love paperwork.
Yes. I do have some information for you with the truck
Great,
purchase.
thank you so much.
I have some information for you later too.
Okay.
Thank you so
And
much.
just a side note, you might already know, you may not, I don't know if I mentioned Jim Waxweiler passed away today.
Oh, really?
That's
No.
right.
Yeah,
No.
Craig's dad.
Oh,
He left work early.
6 months.
No, I thought you said you knew.
Oh, no, I didn't know
That's what
that.
Dean said today, yeah.
I didn't hear what you said.
He left work early today and said his dad fell, and they were thinking of putting him right into hospice. Then he called me like at
Oh,
4:30, and
No, I
So-
didn't hear what you said. I thought you said he
I
was
thought you
bad.
said Tom told me.
they
No,
had
Tom
a
said he
rough
had
couple of
6
years with his
months.
mom and then his dad. I feel bad.
Oh, he
That's
fell.
tough.
Yeah,
That's
it's tough.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, oh, man.
All right,
No context in this story.
Cecily's done. Everybody happy with the highway? We'll have to put another
Didn't see
highway,
anything.
another workshop together.
What do you mean? All this good stuff I've done?
We will
We have to meet.
organize
Yeah,
another workshop
absolutely.
for yours. Okay, clerk. In record time, look at this.
Now, unlike everybody else, I did fill in my top part, but that doesn't matter.
I didn't.
I gave two to them.
Oh, there you go.
So the part that I put in were the only ones that were raised or less or more. So part-time secretary I raised because of the presidential election this year. So as you know, we're going to have early voting for the primary and then early voting also for the general election in November. So I put in for part-time help. We are going to have 2 computers now, 2 stations that the county set up in my office, and which requires me to have an extra staff on hand. So I'm going to have 4 people working during early voting. And that's why I put a little more in overtime. So legal, I just put up a little bit because I went over this year. Consultant I took down. Printing I put up because I went over a little bit this year. And dues I put up a couple of $100. And then equipment purchase I raised. And that's it.
What are you gonna buy?
Well, I'm going to put cameras in the office. I just got a quote from Velocita on those, and then I didn't know with moving into the new building if we're going to require any additional, so I just put that up just $1,000 just to give it a little cushion. So the cameras. And I talked to Nancy Schultz-Boots. She highly recommended that we do the cameras in there. They have cameras in their offices for early voting. So I thought it would probably be a good idea, just because.
The early voting starts Monday, right?
Yes.
We won't have the cameras in by then, will we?
Well, I've been talking to Frank, trying to get him here by Friday.
And this budget won't even be passed until probably March, April.
Right, but the bills that get expended and paid go to this budget. All the bills for the first year, the previous year already paid.
I guess my opinion is, and it's just, I hate to throw money at this building if we're going to be moving out.
No,
in
we're gonna
6
take the
months.
cameras with. Yeah.
You can move them, right?
Yes, yes, definitely we can move
They're
them.
just temporary.
They're just temporary, yes.
Yeah. You'll only have them running during the early voting or at all times?
I don't know why we have to have them at all times. I would just, early voting is really my biggest concern because we have ballots in there. We have all, we have important information in that, in our office. So, I don't foresee why they should be running all the time. So.
The dead usually vote in the middle of the night.
All right,
No,
well,
that's all for me.
So the raise that you calculated here at the top, that's a 3.5%?
I just put that on, I don't know what the board's going to.
Right, no, I'm
Yeah.
just-
Yeah. I don't-
Right,
it's- That was just my general,
Mm-hmm.
yes. What the board's going to approve.
all right, anybody have any questions in the clerk's office? Hearing none, next one will go into
Thank you.
supervisor. This one's gonna be real easy. Again, you want one?
It's up to you, if you wanna give me
Yeah,
one.
you got one for one. It's open to everybody. Everybody got one? Okay, supervisors. The top line is an employee will be decided upon in executive session. Everything else stays the same, pretty much as last year. And keep part-time employees That's the same. Building maintenance, 300. Equipment maintenance, 250, 2,500. Publishing, 600. Printing, 600. Dues, 300. Travel, 4,200. Training, 500. General insurance, 100. Office supplies, 1,500. Miscellaneous, 500. Contingency, 1,500. And a purchase, maintenance, equipment purchase at 6,000. Any questions?
What's anything insurance that would be $100? I would like that policy.
You want to take that insurance? Where am I line item here?
General insurance.
About the 6 months of the
General
bottom.
insurance there. As you can see, we never expend it. It's there as a line item that's always been there as an insurance policy, if we need it. We never expend it. Other than that, I have nothing else. I guess we could go into an executive session now. First, I guess I would need a motion to go out of the regular session.
I think you need a motion to go into executive session.
First, we have to go out of regular.
You need a motion to go into executive, though, so to say why you're going into executive.
Well, all right, if you want to do
Right.
it that way. We're going to go into an executive, I need a motion to go into executive session for collective negotiating matters between a public body and its employees or their representatives, or deliberation concerning their salaries, schedules for one or more classes of employees.
I'll make the motion.
I got a motion by Barb,
I'll second it.
I got a second by Michael. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, we'll go into an executive session.